I will present to you the 7 priorities that we have agreed on as the new Johannesburg multi-party government. So we've identified 7 things that we'd like to focus on as our gift to our residents as we serve them in the next 5 years. The first one is to give them a city that gets the basics right. We know that there are huge challenges with electricity supply, water supply. People are not driving on roads that aren't riddled with potholes, roads that are surfaced. There's challenges with traffic lights, and that affects the flow of traffic as well as the economy. And we're going to make sure that people get basic services. Secondly, we want to give people a caring city. We recognize that Johannesburg is diverse in many ways, but it's also got people of different socioeconomic status, and people need to be assisted. We will be scaling up the rollout of the expanded social package to make sure that the poor in our midst are able to get help through various subsidies. We will make sure that all vulnerable and marginalized residents are assisted, whether it's women, youth, persons with disabilities, children, the LGBTIQA+ community, and many others through various support programs, including in our clinics, homeless shelters, substance abuse treatment centers, and so on. We also want to give our residents a safe and secure city. One of the things that is Googled the most is Johannesburg safe? It shows that a lot of people are really concerned about safety and security in Johannesburg, and we want to change that picture. We've got MMC Tembe, who used to be our chief of police, and he's got great plans to share with our residents on how exactly we're going to turn this situation around. We want to make sure we work in a more integrated manner with the SAPs, with community policing as well as private policing agencies to improve safety and security in Johannesburg. We also want Joburg to be a business-friendly city. We want it to be easy for businesses to connect with the city, but also to function in the city. But we also want Joburg to be an inclusive city where everyone feels right at home through different modalities of providing housing solutions. But we also want to have shared spaces where we can live, work, and play with each other as the different members of this beautiful city of ours. But we want the city to work for our residents through e-governance solutions, making sure that it's easy to interface with the city, whether you're checking your bills, whether you're making payment, or whether you're logging a query or tracking it. And we also want to make sure there's quick turnaround times. And lastly, the smart city priority, which is our priority number 7, is to make sure that we are current and that Johannesburg is the true economic hub and that we embrace smart solutions in everything that we do.
Well, I'm sure many residents would say we appreciate that, Mayor, and we are impressed that you have identified their priorities. But would say let's go back and stay with the basics, what you said about the basics, right? So where are we in terms of the power grid, the water networks, the roads infrastructure, and related infrastructure?
Well, we know that we've inherited a huge backlog in terms of our infrastructure, whether it's water infrastructure, electricity infrastructure, or roads infrastructure. One of the things that we'll be doing is making sure that we increase investment in repairs and maintenance of our existing infrastructure, but also invest in future growth. We spoke about Joburg being the economic hub and attracting many people. This is our reality, and it's a reality we need to embrace, and the sooner we do so, the better, because then we can plan better. Some of the things that we'll be doing is, yes, increasing our capital investment in infrastructure repairs, maintenance, and investing in future growth. We want people working from home to be assured of power supply that's uninterrupted. We want people to be able to open their taps and get running water, particularly now with COVID-19, where keeping our hands clean and keeping clean is such an important intervention in the control of the pandemic. But we also want people's drive to work to be smooth and roads to be surfaced, traffic lights to be working, to make sure that we create an enabling environment for the economy to grow, jobs to be created, and for Joburg to become the city of golden opportunities.
Are you able to give an indication, maybe financial-wise, how some of the things that you're mentioning will be funded? Have you identified the finance?
So in terms of our finance, there are 2 things. Firstly, we need to make sure that those who can afford to pay are paying for services, and we need to make sure that we are collecting the money that needs to come into the city, because it's that money that's going to go back into giving services. But also, we need to close the leaks in the system. What we've picked up is that there's a lot of corruption in the system that's stealing money away from the ratepayer, and that's making it difficult for us to render services. So we will be working very closely with the Group Forensic and Investigation Services Unit to make sure that all the leaks are closed, and to make sure that whatever that we can recover is recovered, and every cent works for our residents.
Right, and the quality of service, is it going to be any different? I mean, in terms of how residents interact with the bureaucracy, so to speak, of the city?
Yes, definitely. We will be investing in our e-governance platform, but we need to make sure there's connectivity citywide so that all in Johannesburg can enjoy the use of our e-governance platform. With COVID-19, we don't want people standing in long queues. We don't want people traveling unnecessarily from home when they can do most of their dealings with the city from home. So we will be investing a lot in those kinds of smart solutions.